Let's do it. Columbus, Ohio, the calf kick experience loves you.
All right, we got Marc Diakiese versus Viacheslav. People know that I absolutely screwed that up. I couldn't even say his name. Otherwise known as the Slava Claus, which I said probably a million times last time we
We
covered him.
laughed a lot about Slav
He's coming off of, this guy had the first knockout of the year via body shot back in January, and that was phenomenal. I'm a fan. I think
It
his
was such a bad ass whooping. Dakota Bush got cut immediately after.
Oh shit, I did not know that. I didn't
Yep.
think it was. I mean, if you go back and watch the fight, Dakota Bush was winning the majority of that fight until he got dropped. Anyways, this is a lightweight bout. Diakiese is coming in at 29 years old, 5'10" with a 73-inch reach. He's coming off 2 losses where he got choked out and then lost to Rafael Fiziev, which is not a bad loss at all, in my opinion. And he had his moments. I think he gave Rafael Fiziev his hardest time since I've been watching, since he lost that one in Russia.
I'd argue Bobby Green, but that's not a bad name to be compared to at this point, seeing the resurgence in his career.
Yeah, but the Slava Claus coming off that body shot KO and the win on the Contender Series also by KO. He's coming at 30 years old, 5'11" with a 69-inch reach. So the reach lies on Marc Diakiese. But, this is going to be a stand-up battle unless Marc Diakiese thinks that he wants to take this fight to the ground, which is one of Slava Claus's weaknesses, as we saw in his UFC debut, right?
Yeah.
So this is going to be a very interesting stand-up battle, in my opinion. This has Fight Night potential run all over it.
I agree. I absolutely see this being a fight where they just stand and bang it out. Diakiese went to a decision with Fiziev, and if you look further back, he went 3 rounds with Haqparast. He's even got a fight with Dan Hooker. So he got submitted in the 3rd round by Dan Hooker. He's fought some competition. He's no slouch, but I think Slava Claus is a wild card. I don't see him taking the belt or making a run anytime soon, especially because he's fairly new to the game and 30 years old at that. But he's a team alpha male guy. I trust that he's with a good team. He burnt my ass last time because I picked Dakota Bush, and I just think he's a sneaky good striker, man. I could obviously see how Diakiese could neutralize that, the same way he did with Fiziev, but Borshchev's got the pressure. He's going to come after him, and I'm going to say it's going to go to a decision. I don't think he gets the finish, but I think we got a banger on our hands, certainly.
Yeah, I think from an analytical perspective, I think Diakiese does what he always does. He comes out with those calf kicks, and those are damaging. You can go back to the fight with Lando Veneta, where he just completely tore up Lando with those calf kicks. One thing I don't like about Diakiese, though, is that he comes in with this punch heavy approach where he only throws the calf kicks and then throws power shots, but they're not necessarily devastating, and he doesn't throw combos. So he likes to throw a big straight right hand and a few jabs, but even though he has power when he does connect, it's just not enough to throw off somebody of the caliber of a kickboxer that Borshchev is. I think Borshchev with the combos, I think that's where he's going to get him. Whenever he comes in and decides to strike, I think that's where he can catch Diakiese. I think Diakiese's, obviously his level of competition is much higher and his experience is much better, even though he's lost to some of the top guys like Haqparast and Fiziev. But if Borshchev can time the calf kicks, I think it could be a quite early night for Marc Diakiese. If that straight right hand is going to be right there if he hits him with one of those calf kicks.
It's really hard to throw a calf kick off your back leg. And Borshchev's got that weird kickboxer style where I don't see a lot of circle and dance around and look for openings. He's coming at you the whole fight. He's in your face. And, you can't compare him to Giga Chikadze, obviously, but he's got a devastating body kick. And, when you got your hands up and you're throwing those heavy shots, your body's open. I kind of get scared, honestly, about that overhand coming from Diakiese because Borshchev's going to be coming right at him and right into it. But I think the pressure is going to just be way too much.
It's going to depend on who's like pressuring and bringing the pace with the fight. If Diakiese is bringing the pressure and keeping range, I could definitely see this being his fight, even though it's not like as a pronounced reach as some might, say for that kind of fight. But I think Borshchev, his game plan is get in there and throw these combos. He's not going to want to jab, and he's not going to want to strike from range, obviously, and he's not going to want to get taken down. So he has less weapons, but I feel like he's just more technically sound and more adept, especially with his kickboxing credentials.
Yeah, I think my bet is solely resting on the fact, I'll say it again, pressure. I imagine that Borshchev's going to be going forward, and we just know from watching enough fights, it's really hard to shoot and wrestle and really hard to throw kicks when you're going backwards the whole time. I do get concerned that, if this fight gets into the third round and it ends up going to a decision, Diakiese could come on late. I certainly trust the cardio in him a little bit more than I do in Borshchev, but that's just because I haven't seen Borshchev go that long. I'm not saying he doesn't have it. It's just untested.
Absolutely. Let's get into the odds. Let's see what the odds makers have to say about this. All right. We get Marc Diakiese coming as the plus 160 dog. And Borshchev, the Slava Claus, coming as the minus 155 favorite. They're not terrible, but for something that I don't see as a lock, I don't know if I'm throwing that in there. Maybe throwing it into a parlay. Zach, you seen any prop bets that we're liking this week?
I really don't mind the 155 money line here. I think it's reasonably priced. And I think just looking ahead at the card, we're probably going to end up having to play some bigger favorites higher up. So I think the money line bet at minus 155 is not safe per se, but it's your safest play here. Gage kind of has me convinced now, and I don't know, maybe I'm just having flashbacks to that beautiful body shot, but under 1.5 being at plus 130. I know I said decision earlier, but that just seems kind of like the bet. I don't know. What is Borshchev by TKO is plus 125?
I say you're better off at plus 130 because
yeah.
I don't think Diakiese really wins a decision here. I think he definitely has the power, but I think, obviously Borshchev got caught once in the Dakota Bush fight, and Dakota Bush isn't the greatest striker. But if you're throwing power punches down the middle like Diakiese does, he doesn't really mix up and throw combos and hide things very well. Obviously, if he throws one down the pipe and gets Borshchev, then it's over. But I just really don't see him winning a decision.
Borshchev wins by decision is at plus 430.
I could definitely see that. It's going to be an interesting fight. Diakiese is a longer fighter, and he has more power, but that doesn't mean necessarily anything,
Yeah. What's weird is maybe I'm just underrating Diakiese, but I agree with you. I don't see a whole lot of routes to victory for him here. So I think I might want to toss the minus 155 into a parlay like Gage said, and then maybe tease the plus 130 for under 1.5 with Borshchev wins by decision at plus 430. They can't both happen, but two rabbits in the hat is better than one.
That's right.